Okay, we got a couple new tools. Let me show you what they look like. We got a stud welder to get out some of the dents in the side of this truck. This right here is to replace these, and a storage thing from Costco for about 30 bucks. That's pretty cool. Some new lights for the truck, and it has indicators as well.
This side.
Figured something out. There's a short somewhere in my wiring. So it works. Just need to find the short. Alright, I got her off. But he also mentioned right there, you can see right up underneath there, it's leaking a bit. So it comes down here and it's all leaking down that way, so this will need to get a new seal. Maybe that's what we also do. I don't know now, but later, but we'll get it. Yeah. This is fun. Yeah. I don't know if I caught all that, but let's pull her out and take her over. At about 55 miles an hour, or 50-ish miles an hour, the truck has this huge vibration. And I was thinking maybe it's the pinion angle, because if that's off, then that could cause it to wobble at that speeds. The other thing, of course, the easy one is the U-joint. So I looked at the U-joint. If we look down here, at this, you can, like, it chugs throughout there, especially on that. All right, girl, watch out, okay? Okay, so we figured out a couple things that may be wrong. One of the things that is wrong is that my drive shaft has a bend, a bump. My drive shaft has a bump in the middle of it, causing it to kind of curve. And at like 55 miles an hour, you got a whoom, 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 whoom. So found a guy here local to me that can create and make a good drive shaft. He has the parts necessary to do it. And so I'm going to take mine off, and then I'm going to take it over to him, hopefully have him fix that up, get some U-joints that are better in this thing. That way I don't have that problem anymore. The other problem that we had as we were going over there, the truck would bog down going uphill. I'm like, what the heck's going on with that? Why won't it go? Well, the carburetor, I think the diaphragm for the accelerator may have burst or something like that. So we're going to take the carburetor off, look inside of that as well, see what's going on. Hopefully that fixes as well. We're gearing up for hunting season, and I want to be able to take this truck out hunting. I need to do that in the next month. So let's get to work. First off, here's our old drive shaft. The issue with this drive shaft is that bend right there. I'm pretty sure that gave me the wobbles. Anyways, so we're going from this beastie had a guy build it for me I guess the new splines and everything for it. Said my other one was a little actually too short according to the wear pattern on this on here, that it should be a little bit longer. He put some good, you can see how it works real nice and even. So I just need to plop this right in underneath here and we'll be good to go. Thanks to Driveline Tech for helping us out with that. Guy locally around where I'm at, and was able to put that together for us. So let's get it in and see if that gets the wobbles gone. That's a lot thinner than the other one, that's for sure. Wow, that's light. CD player that was in there, a JVC. It's fairly significant on the size, and the weight is like nothing compared to, like that's fairly hefty on that one. With this thing, I ran into a few issues. Let me show you. The issue was, I got it all wired up, but then it wouldn't turn on, and I'm like, what's going on? And I checked the red power wire, and it was getting power when it's turned on. But I need the constant to work. So shout out to Boss when it comes to their stuff, because I called the support hotline for the company. A guy got on the phone, literally went through every little thing with me, asked me the perfect questions, even looked up my multimeter to make sure I was doing it right on my side, the exact model and brand and everything. And he's like, no, you just need a constant on that. And to prove it, he said, put that yellow wire, the constant, to your other power wire. And when you do that, you find out if it at least turns on just from that. And it did. But the problem is that this constant wire, if it's not always having some kind of power to it, then your settings will reset every single time you turn your key. So we don't want that. We want to have the settings stay. So now we need to go find the constant wire that when the truck's key is turned off, there is still power coming to that line. We need to have a line that has power always to that input. So let's see if we can't go find it. All right. Wow. Hello. Okay, so what we found is that there is a wire back here that is to the cigarette lighter that we're not using, that we're just going to use that as the constant power and see if we can't get that up and running. So we're gonna do a little bit of funny business.
It's getting kinda late, but the ladies want some more. Oh my good lord, tell them drink some. Don't put me
got a few more things that I have to do just to get this operational. Wish me luck. Please comment. Let me know what you did to be able to figure out all of the wiring in a messy place such as this. I want to clean this up big time. All right, and then as I said that, I figured this out. Okay, so they probably disconnected it because what was going on? This wire that comes over here to this battery, which I need to just go get another battery, needed to be connected up with its fuse to be able to run the power towards something. And then it ran along here, and I need to connect this one fully to the ground, and when I do, it allows this to flow. The only issue is there is a line inside of here that I think is not connected, and because of that, but this works. We have the compressor that works, so let me show you. Connect it up. I'll get that all tightened up here in just a second. However, if I turn the key, we have liftoff. Let's see if we can't just... And then if I come over here and flip this switch, you can hear that it's starting to compress. There is a pipe, it's right here. I don't know. Seems like it's compressing. So hopefully that thing is okay. And we're doing just fine. I really should start this puppy up because I've been playing with that battery for a little bit. And then that's a little compressor. I wonder if I flip this switch on my big compressor and use that to pump the air into that system so that that one doesn't have to do all of its hard work. Let's try it. Maybe this is better light. We'll see. However, inside of here, you see that broke off. So there is a piece that was sitting on here like that to regulate and allow the air to go, and it busted off. So now I need to do an extractor on that one. I tried to, I think I had too big of an extractor to get that piece off, and I've ordered another one of these. We'll put that aside because that part is on order, and so we don't have that currently. However, how many of you have had this problem? Well, it's usually due to a plastic piece not being right here. People will get PVC pipe, and I decided to buy a $6 striker bolt instead, and I'm just going to put that striker bolt on there. So here we go. So the problem is that striker bolt is very, very tough to get off, and it's worn down a little bit too. You can see that it's been just rubbed on like crazy as well in that top part. So I've got a breaker bar, and hopefully that is the right, I mean, it sits in there just fine, but I don't know if it's going to actually sit and do the right thing. I'm nervous to bend on this. Just kidding. Just kidding, it worked. I was just careful with it. And now that that is in, no more shake. No more shake. Hold up. Little bit of shake. So we got to figure that out. Yeah, no more shake. Isn't that great? And it's flush with the door too. Oh, I like it. $6 fix. How do I like that? Little update. Got everything in. Engine's running a little weird. So I start working on my stuff here. And as I'm sitting here working on it, a gentleman walks over, says, "Hey, your truck's running a little too rich." I knew it was running rich, I just didn't know how to fix it. I guess God wanted me to know how to fix this because he knows everything about it. He goes, "Hey, with this Holley carburetor, you're going to want to do a couple things first in order to make sure that you're running at the right area." Now I'm going to butcher all of this, but from what I got from him, he sat here for about 15 minutes with me and explained just exactly how to do that. For one, I guess there is a valve that is set on here, and that valve that is on inside of here in between the float determines a lot of how that gas is coming into the carburetor. So inside of here, inside this float right on the back side of it, there is a valve that's in there. There's a certain amount of vacuum pressure that comes into this, and you want one that has an always vacuum pressure on. Okay, so he was telling me you got to figure out what it is for each carburetor and what yours is, but it could be anywhere possibly from 13 to up to 20, and his racers, they would go all the way to 6 on that vacuum pressure just at the right position. But there's a couple of things that I'm doing wrong. For one, right here on this side, that float right there there's too much gas in there. It's all the way at the top. It needs to be right at that bottom, sitting at that. So I need to dial this into a position where it lowers that to a good spot. It's getting too much gas from that, for one. Two, we don't know if the valve inside of here is good. 3, we need to make sure that my accelerator right here, he says that when I push down on it right here, that's going too far down, and I need to back that off a bit. Excuse me, let me show you that again. So that, if I'm pushing that down right there, right, that's going too far down to the point where I can't move that bottom anymore, and he says you should have some play inside of that or else you're going to bend that. That's been my problem with my other stuff before, so I need to back this off a bit and make sure that it's sitting just right on top of there, and that as soon as it engages, it goes, but it's not any more than that, right? So we're gonna mess with this, make sure that's good, and then I can get my idle in a good spot. My idle right here and my idle right there need to be in a good spot as well, so that it is going to give the proper amount of gas to air, and it's not going to run too rich. And I guess a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll take one of these carburetors from a different engine and plug it onto another one without knowing exactly what the valve is inside of there. And that valve needs to be within 2 psi pressure of whatever your constant pressure is on your carburetor. So we're going to deal with each of those. He said that one way to check to see if your valve is a bad valve in there without opening it up is to look down inside of there. And as you look down inside of there, as the engine is is running to see if there is any gas that's just leaking into there constantly. And if so, then that could be a bad thing for it. There wasn't any for us, so it very well could be that that's the case, that it's fine. And I just need to back this needle out, and then I need to adjust those carburetor idle spots when I have this gauge attached to it. You could get this at Harbor Freight for like 15 bucks. That's what I got mine for. And it'll be able to teach us what we need to do. So let's try it. I'm gonna call that a win for today. Got that all fixed up. I'm happy about that. That's pretty sweet. That's it for today. Peace. I think the ATF on this is low. They're making a bad noise. So we're gonna have to figure that out.